The number one question that I get asked when a customer comes here to Subaru is, what is the difference between the Subaru Outback and the Subaru Forester? These have long been compared when looking at the Subaru lineup. And in today's video, I'm gonna outline the key differences between these two vehicles. These are both 2026 models, and help you determine which one is best for you. As always, if you all have any questions, leave those down in the comment section below and I'll do my best to answer those for you. Today is December 19th, and since we're so close to Christmas time here, I decided to pick a green Outback and a red Forester for today's video. I felt like that was fitting for the holidays. So on the left, we have the deep emerald green pearl. It's a metallic dark green color on this 2026 Subaru Outback in the limited XT trim. And then on the right, we have a 2026 Forester in the limited trim in the crimson red pearl color. Starting with the 2026 model year, the Outback has now been moved to the Japanese plant in Gunma, Japan. Previously, for probably well over a decade now, the Outback has been produced and final assembly has been in Lafayette, Indiana, here in the US. Well, instead now the Forester, where it was previously at the Japanese plant, has now been brought over to the US plant here in Lafayette, Indiana. And the reason why I think that is because, well, if you look at the sales volume of the Forester compared to the Outback across the entire US market, the Forester sells more units than the Outback. And so that's probably why Subaru brought this over to the US plant. Both Subaru SUV models fit up to 5 people. Now the Forester is considered a compact SUV, while the Outback is considered a mid-size crossover SUV. Before we dive into this and look at the inside comparison of these two Subaru models, let's just take a brief moment to look on the outside side-by-side comparison and help better understand the size comparisons. I'll post an image here with some brief specs talking about the wheelbase length, the roof height, the width, and the overall length of these vehicles. And when you look at these dimensions, you'll start to see that the Outback is just slightly longer. It's a little bit longer by about 8 inches if you talk about the total vehicle length from the front bumper to the rear when you compare it to the Forester. And the Outback is, although been redesigned and has a slightly taller roof than the previous Outback, the outgoing model, it is still just slightly shorter on the roofline when you compare to the Forester. And if you look at the windows more closely, that starts to make more sense as well. So here's the size of the windows from the door frame all the way up to the roof. And if we look at the Forester, the windows are slightly taller. Now, both vehicles are going to give you great outward visibility. You're not going to be disappointed with either in terms of blind spot visibility and just overall visuals when you are driving. You can really see where you're at really well with these cars. But the Forester does have slightly more open space, and a lot of people note on that. And that's especially true when you're looking at the Forester equipped with a moonroof, because the Forester moonroof comes with this large panoramic glass, but in the Outback you get a standard size moonroof that is much smaller. The Forester and the Outback have a good amount of interior space for you and your passengers, as well as great outward visibility. As an example, here's what it looks like looking over your shoulder in the 2026 Outback, and here's what it looks like looking over your shoulder in the 2026 Subaru Forester. As you can see, you get great visibility with either model. Here's another interesting perspective. If we have these two cars parked side by side, they really don't look that different on the roofline, and you almost really have to sit in and drive these for yourself to get a good perspective on how different these vehicles can be. And despite the Forester having a slightly taller roof, it doesn't necessarily mean that it is higher off the ground. They both come standard with 8.7 inches of ground clearance, no matter if you go with the Forester or the Outback. Now there are exceptions to this. If you go with the Wilderness trim line in both models, that does increase the ground clearance. Because the Forester has a slightly taller roof, you do have a slightly taller seat position. So if you adjust the seat all the way up on the Subaru Forester and you compare that to adjusting the seat all the way up on the Subaru Outback, The Subaru Forester is going to be a couple inches higher because you got a little bit more headroom. So if you are looking for an SUV that has a higher seating position, you may want to look at the Forester, although I'd recommend test driving both side by side to see which you like better. Under the hood, both the Forester and the Subaru Outback come standard with a 2.5 liter naturally aspirated motor. You do have the option for a hybrid in the Forester only. And for the Outback only, you have the option to upgrade to the 2.4 liter turbo like we see here with this limited XT model. So if you're looking for the turbo engine, something with more horsepower, more torque, the Outback is typically the way to go. If you want more fuel efficiency while also having good horsepower and torque, look at the Forester Hybrid. And many people have asked me about the hybrid option on an Outback. When is Subaru going to come out with this? Well, as of right now, Subaru has not mentioned anything about releasing a hybrid for the Outback. As of right now, the hybrid engine is only available on the Forester and the Crosstrek. And when you compare the same standard powertrain, that 2.5 liter non-turbo, the Forester has up to 1,500 pounds max towing capacity, where the 2.5 in the Outback has up to 2,700 pounds max towing capacity. Whenever you move up to the turbo engine on the Outback, you can also bump that up to 3,500 pounds towing capacity. If you want more towing capabilities out of a Forester, maybe opt for the Wilderness, because that one can tow up to now 3,500 pounds starting with the 2026 model year Forester Wilderness trim. Both have similar passenger space. With the Outback being a little bit longer, you probably have just a little bit room up in front of your knees whenever you're sitting in your car. And then for the headroom, while I think you have plenty of clearance here, you have just slightly more clearance with the Forester, being that it has that taller roof. When equipped with a power gate, both have the option to open the gate with a button on the hatch, your Subaru's key fob, or by clicking a button on the dash. You can open or close your power rear gate. And starting with the 2025 model year, the Forester even has this cool feature where you can kick below the rear bumper to open your rear gate. You can also kick below the rear bumper to close your rear gate. The Outback previously had the option where you could hold your hand or arm above the rear Subaru logo and your gate would open up. But in 2026, for this model year, that feature has been discontinued, and there is also no kick activated feature for your rear gate. You still have all the other capabilities though with your key fob, the button on the back, or the button on the dash. If your Forester has a cargo cover in 2026, here is what it looks like. It's practical, it's functional, but it can be inconvenient whenever you're looking for space. Now, this does have the ability to be stored down below the floor. Not a lot of people know that. So if you do want access to your cargo cover, but you don't need it all the time, you can store it down below your cargo floor. And for comparison, starting with the 2026 model Outbacks, we now have this soft cover that you can release. It's magnetized down here at the bottom. You can have it out as a cargo cover. You can use it as a hammock to store items, maybe sporting equipment, pet equipment, whatever you might have, or you can take it out altogether. It's very lightweight, very flexible, and of course, you can store it down below the loading floor as well. I've also been told that this material is machine washable, so if it does ever get dirty with your equipment, you do have the ability to wash it. And just like this guide shows, you can see that you have more options versus just having a tonneau cover or the hammock. You can use it as a partition for your pets if they're back in the back seat, or maybe you're tailgating or going camping. You can use it as a step cover and drape it over the rear bumper while you're hanging out back here. Here's a look at the cargo space on the 2026 Subaru Forester. And here's a look on the 2026 Outback. You can see that the Outback has a lot more depth here. It's slightly wider in the opening, and although the roof line is slightly shorter, you have more cargo space in the Subaru Outback, both with the seats up and with the seats down. And here's what it looks like with the Subaru Outback seats down. And for comparison, here's what it looks like with the seats down on the Subaru Forester. Both come standard with Subaru's EyeSight safety system that's been around for many years, and that helps with forward collision accident avoidance. But what the Outback is going to be getting in 2026 for the Touring and the Touring XT trim levels is something called hands-free driving assist. I'm going to be making future videos on this once that becomes available. It's going to come out via software update at your Subaru retailer for those who have that trim level here in the next few months, and then eventually it'll roll out where it'll already be on the cars when people buy them new. But that is something that is going to be available on the 26 Outback in terms of a new safety feature that is not available for the 26 Forester. Both models have a large touchscreen display with seamless connectivity with your phone utilizing wireless, Apple CarPlay, or Android Auto. But the Forester has the older style, this vertical touchscreen display that was first featured on the 2020 Subaru Outback. A lot of people have noted that they don't like that the climate controls are built into the touchscreen display, at least the majority of them are, and they prefer physical climate controls. Well, with the 2026 model Outback, the touchscreen has been redesigned. You now have this horizontal touchscreen display. It's more responsive, it's quicker, and we have physical climate controls, both for our heating and air as well as our heated seat controls. The non-hybrid Forester comes standard with an analog gauge cluster, whereas your 2026 Outback comes standard with this digital gauge cluster, and you can even change the look of this screen. Maybe you want to have your maps displayed here, you have your EyeSight screen for your adaptive cruise control, or you want a calm screen that's more minimalistic. It is worth noting that if you go with a Forester hybrid in 2025 or 26, you're going to have a similar digital gauge cluster specific to the hybrid Forester trim. Both cup holders in the Outback and the Forester for the 26 model year have been redesigned. They are positioned vertically instead of horizontal, and you do have more room in the Forester for this second cup holder. See, I've got a standard size water bottle here, but I believe you can fit up to a 32-ounce Nalgene water bottle in this second cup holder, whereas with the Outback, just your standard size water bottles fit in that center cup holder insert. Now, another cool thing with the Forester that's not on the Outback is, I don't know if this was designed for that, but a place to put your phone. So that's kind of a nice touch for the Forester that the 26 Outback doesn't get. Now let's compare the starting price of the 26 Forester to the 26 Outback. In 2026, the base trim Forester MSRP with destination delivery starts out at $31,445. Compare that to the starting price of the 2026 Outback with an MSRP with destination and delivery at $36,445. Now, one of the big reasons for the large gap between pricing there is because in 2026 you can still get a base trim Forester, meaning you can get a Subaru Forester with no heated seats, cloth interior, and a lot less equipment. Whenever you jump over to a 2026 Subaru Outback in the premium trim, which is now the entry-level trim level for the 26 Outback, you don't have cloth interior. You actually can't get an Outback in 2026 with cloth interior. It comes standard with the StarTech synthetic material, kind of looks and feels like leather. It's water repellent, really easy to keep clean. It comes standard with that interior and standard with heated seats, along with a whole slew of other features that are not available on the base trim Forester. Whether you are shopping for a Subaru Forester or a Subaru Outback, I really believe that you can't go wrong either way. They both offer great options and features and a lot of similarities between the two, but hopefully this video has helped you learn some key differences and helped you make that decision between which Subaru is best for you. If you've enjoyed this video and found value in it, please remember to click the like button down below. That helps me out a lot and I would really appreciate it. And if you want to check out another helpful Subaru video, click on this one here. This is one that YouTube recommends that you will like next. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you all in the next one.